to help women get medical supplies. I repeat, $7. Just $7. Through diaspora, we're able to connect with partners in country. That was on World Prematurity Day. That was in November of 2015. Collaborated with Doris Monell Foundation, who focus only on premature babies. Members from Tanzania and Pia made great donations to the Socks and Hats campaign, and were able to buy socks and hats for premature babies, so we can give them to Doris Monell Foundation to distribute. That is Stella Mpanda. Some of you might know her. She's the co-founder. She's very senior to me. She's like my mother. And she says, haba na haba hujaza kibaba. Yeah? Little by little makes a difference. You can learn more about CSI on these different platforms. Asanteni sana. And I just want you to know that the diaspora philanthropy has great potential to make a difference. Sometimes it's not about money. Sometimes it's donating clothes, donating time. A lot of you shop on Amazon. You can select CSI as a charity for Amazon to donate 0.5% of the total price. And I want to show you how your contribution goes a long way. How am I doing, Nunda? Good. 1 minute. Oh, cool. Is that bag going around somewhere? Thank you guys, thank you. So before you play, this is a video. This was in December 2015. I was in Tanzania for about 5 weeks. This was Temeke Hospital, where we donated 50 childbirth kits. And I want you to hear what she says. So I think this message was there. We gave out 50 kits, it was great, but if we can do more than that, it will be good, right? So let us try to do good and just donate $7 when we go back to the presentation. Ooh la la la, no. Just go back to this PowerPoint, please. And I conclude with that. We also have a campaign online, gofundme.com/$7. $7 can make a difference. I have brochures, I have pictures. There's a lot of information, and you can help save lives. Everybody needs a mother. No baby should be born and the mother dies. That's not right. It's not right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Swedi, for your powerful presentation. I am privileged to have a VIP in the audience, and he's a VIP because he's my brother-in-law, Ambassador Masilingi, and my sister, Mrs. Masilingi. They're in the audience, and I'm hoping that this is family, but it's nothing personal, that I ask you, Ambassador, to be the channel for our efforts in everything that we're trying to do for the people of Tanzania. Thank you very much. As you've seen, it's just a few examples of the dedication of so many Tanzanians, not only in this room tonight, but there's so many other people doing tremendous things, and it starts with very little. You just need your good health and the intent. And the ambassador will hold him accountable for making sure that whatever our intent, if it's good and well planned, that he can assist us to make a difference in our people of Tanzania. I'm going to conclude now to thank DICOTA again, Ambassador from Tanzania, all the people that have traveled from United States and other countries, that this is tremendous. It shows effort, It shows that you're dedicated to our country. It starts right here with the people in the audience. DICOTA, tremendous work. You've encouraged us. You've given us ability to network. And not only that, we even heard about housing. I was so excited about it. So I'm so appreciative of everything that you've done. I will take 1, 2, or 3 questions, if you have any, to the panelists here. Karibuni.
Thank you so much. My name is Dr. Miriam Abu from New York. My name is Dr. Miriam Abu from New York. I should say that all 3 of you are doing such an amazing work helping out societies out there in Tanzania. I did practice medicine in rural Tanzania, so I know exactly how bad the situation can be. My question is to Dr. Banda. You've done such an inspiring job in Bukoba, but logistically, my question will be, what kind of hoops or what kind of permission or what kind of partnership did you have to have with the Ministry of Health or Ministry of Education or the, in order for you to achieve those projects? And also, as far as funding is concerned, did you get any sponsorship, any grants, or did you pay all that out of your pocket? Thank you.
Those are all very good questions, thank you. I don't have any partnership with the Tanzanian government, but I'm registered with the Ministry of Health. And the school that we built, it was given to the Ministry of Education. That school is not mine, I gave it to the Tanzanian government. It seemed so difficult when I started this charity. I felt this intense desire to do something. And there was a lot of red tape, I have to admit. I don't know if you guys have tried this. That was in 1998. It wasn't easy to penetrate anywhere. But I had a mission and I was going to complete my mission. So I built that school and gave it back to the government. I am registered, I'm a 501c, and yes, I do solicit funds. I have a website and we have PayPal, but most of the money has been acquired through volunteers, people who just want to donate. I've never received a grant. Can you believe it? I'm building a hospital. I've never received a grant. But all the other charities, when you start the work, I think grant application is important. I've been fortunate to have co-workers who donate their time, doctors, neurosurgeons, nurses, teachers, students, for free. So that's more money in kind that I've used over the years to accomplish what I have. Recently, you can't believe it, I got a philanthropist, I presented my project to him about water. Water is very important to society. These people are dying, they're getting diseases because of lack of water. He was convinced. I had a plan in mind, I wrote it up. He just gave me $86,000, so now we're getting water, electricity to all the children, and I'm gonna give them computers. They're gonna be surfing the net. It's unbelievable in Gera. So, you don't have to have $500,000, you know, the OTC, what was that guy? You know, you have to apply for all this money, but you start small, and the word goes out. If you do good work, and you're not one of those that's siphoning the money and not doing what you're supposed to do, people do appreciate the work with time, by the way. This was since 1998. For once, I got a funding of $86,000. So it can be done. So what's next? I've gone to fundraisers, I do golf tournaments, I do dances, I bake, I do anything it takes to get a penny. So you don't think everything is mundane. Do what it takes to get even a dime. You know, a drop slowly in a bucket will fill the bucket one day. Did I answer your questions?
Thank you. Please, let's give this group another round of applause. Okay, one final question.
I said, one Thank you so much for the presentations. Very, very inspiring. I want to direct my question to Tausi Swedi. One, this $7 campaign, I think it's very, very innovative, and I want to congratulate you for it. One, I believe everybody in the room has a smartphone, so all of us, instead of passing the bag around, perhaps we could go to your GoFundMe site and donate the $7 like right away. And what I also like about that, having the experience from the Maendeleo, is the direct impact. And I believe that basically driving the problem, having a solution, having an amount that people can easily contribute is a big, big solution. And I think we should be able to drive it to a point where perhaps we can adopt a hospital and just tell us how many deliveries do you do per year, and then we have a budget, and therefore we can say for that one hospital, that one clinic, we actually have provided enough childbirth kits. So that would be my challenge to you. So for example, if we donate, let's say $100 today, when would that kit arrive in Tanzania? So I think that feedback loop could easily basically come to a point where people could just say, we have 100,000 childbirths in Dar es Salaam, we need 100,000 childbirth kits, and this is the budget, and therefore you'll be the channel. And together there, the partnership with Pius is very, very inspiring as well. So fellow entrepreneurs helping out this cause. So I just want you to kind of help emphasize that direct link, and just kind of give us some more assurance that if we donate the money today, for example, when will those childbirth kits be arriving in Tanzania? Thank you.
Thank you. That's a great question. To answer your, if you go on the CSI website, I would encourage you to sign up to subscribe to the newsletter. Information sharing is the most important way to know what an organization is doing. We have quarterly newsletters, we have monthly digests. So our goal is 1,000 women. If you do the math, that is $7,000 we're trying to raise. I've already given PS a heads up. He's going to ship 1,000 kits to Tanzania. So we're planning to send these out around July. Hopefully we'll have reached our target of 7,000. When he sends them out, shipment arrives within 2 months. We're planning to distribute around November, December. But through communication, through following us on social media, you're able to track, like when the shipment goes out, we put something on our social media. Thank you so much to All Africa, shipment has gone out. Thank you All Africa, shipment has arrived. The first hospital, the second hospital, and Dr. Mariam talked of the Lake Zone area. Many of those kids are going to be Haramulo in the Lake Zone area. Women are dying, they don't have health supplies. So just keep following us, keep in touch, keep connected with CSI. All the information is available. Hope that answers your question.
Thank you. Thank you. You may be seated. Thank you very much. At this time, I'd like Dr. Shalua and Dr. Fundi to please come upstairs, up to the podium. So it was mentioned here that information is power, and the way that this particular group of individuals were brought to us was from you. We sent a survey and we said, where are the Tanzanian philanthropists? And these are the names that we got, and so we share that information together. The other thing I need to give feedback on, I was asking you when we began this session yesterday, as you're posting pictures and as you're sharing events, to use the hashtag DICOTA 2016. I just put up the report. There are 1,200 comments following DICOTA 2016. So thank you, and please keep it up. We have to share the information.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Shaban Fundi. My education is my doctorate degree is in education, and I do mostly curriculum design and curriculum evaluation for the DeKalb County school system in Atlanta, Georgia. So today I'm going to talk about the improving quality and equity of education in Tanzania. So I'll just walk down a little bit so I can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'll start very briefly to talk about the history of the education system in Tanzania. A lot of people who actually presented before me, they were touching a little bit. They were actually touching a little bit about the education system in Tanzania. So I'll actually start with the history and then go forward to where I need to actually talk more about. So a brief. The agenda for my talk is going to be, I'll start with a brief history of the Tanzanian education system. I'll talk a little bit about two models of education system that Tanzania pursued since its independence. So there was the excellence educational model, which was from 1961 all the way to the 1990s. It's still continuing today, but is a little bit shadowed with all the other things that are happening within this education system. Also, I'll talk about the self-reliance education philosophy. After independence, Tanzania pursued a self-reliance economical view and also educational ideas. And also in the 2000s, Tanzania adopted the MDG goals, which one of the principal goals of the MDGs, or Millennium goals, was educating all children. So I'll talk about that in details as well through this presentation. Also from the educating all children came about Shule DICOTA. We all know about Shule DICOTA and all the problems associated with Shule DICOTA. It was supposed to be an opportunity, but it turned out to be something that was less desired. And also I'll talk about Magufuli era, just a snapshot of Magufuli. He's talking about free education for all, and we'll see some of the actual impact of that philosophy within the education system in Tanzania. And then I'll show you a quick video about the research that is actually currently going on in Tanzania about the education system in Tanzania in terms of grants, funding for students in schools, and also what is actually happening in terms of student learning. Are they actually learning anything? Okay, so those are the things that I'll touch. And at the end, I'll give you my thoughts and ideas of what I think need to be done differently to actually put our education system in the right tracks. Okay, so our history. Since independence, like I talked before, Tanzania education system pursued the excellence model, and the excellence model is based on the Darwinian theory of evolution. The strongest survive. Okay, so in our education system, if you're not very good, you're going to be dropped out at some point. Examination score decided most of what is going to happen to you, and it's just a single day exam will determine the future of your life, whether you are going forward or you're going to stay where you are. So whether or not a child continue with further education depended entirely on a single examination result. And then that was one of the philosophy that was pursued by the Tanzania education system, but also the education for self-reliance. We were actually having a lot of technical schools at the same time. So if you fail, not necessarily that you're going to be dropped out completely. You had other channels that you can go through to actually find a way to actually support yourself in life, and also supporting the government as well in terms of generating income as a citizen of the country. So we had a competing philosophy that was actually working in conjunction with the excellence model of education. So I'm just going to push you all the way up to the 1990s, end of 1990s. Now we're talking about the 2000s all the way to the present. In the 2000s, beginning of early 2000, MDG goals came about, and each country was supposed to subscribe to those goals. And Tanzania was one of those countries actually took part in the MDG goals. I think we're still following the MDG goals up to this moment. So one of the things that they were emphasizing was to educate all children, at least to a secondary school education. At least to a secondary school education. So the onset of the Millennium Development Goals started this drive to build schools in every kata in the country. And that was very successful. Almost every kata you go in Tanzania, there is a secondary school. Everywhere there is a secondary school. But the problem was there was no planning going ahead. There was planning to build the building, but there was no planning to actually staff the building and resource the building with all the material that is required for a building to be called a school. Because you can have a building, it can still be a building, but it's not a school. To have a school, you need to have teachers, well-trained teachers, well-trained. You need to have resources that are actually help the teacher to actually teach those students. You also have to teach the teachers quality instructional strategies that will actually help each individual child to have success in education. So that was not happening. The only thing that happened very quickly was building, and not actually in the training side. So that led to, if you look at the data, from 2004 all the way to 2012, the data is very explicit. Funding for schools went up, but the excellence in terms of learning evidence was going down, terribly going down. All the way to 2011, that's when the lowest of the lowest scores ever recorded in the education system in Tanzania actually happened. 50.4% of students who sat for Form 4 exam for that year passed the exam. And of those 50, 90% of them got a D or an F. So only 10% who got Division 1, Division 2, and Division 3. And you know the consequence of all of that, okay? So it's sad thing when we adapt things like educating all children and when we're not really preparing the infrastructure to actually accommodate all these principles, we are leaving a lot of children behind, a lot of children behind. And also, during this time as well, you will see a lot of the technical colleges were actually upgraded to become universities. A lot of them become universities. Bayer Technical College, all these small-scale development institutions were turning into college. So technical college was seen as disappearing in the country. But we still need people with those skills. We can't have just all people having college degrees. We need plumbers, we still need electricians, we still need certificated people who can actually do most of the job that is required to actually move the country forward. I'm just giving you a snapshot, like it's not like really too far-fetched. So Magufuli in his quest for the presidency, he came up with the free education for all. That was 2005. And actually, he was very fast to implement this philosophy. And what we see is a noble goal, an ambitious goal, and is actually implemented right now. So what's the planning? There's really no planning. We just moved from speech, and now we are actually asking for all children to go to school. So what was the consequence with that? If you look at the education system in Tanzania, most of the buildings for primary schools were built in the 1970s and the 1980s. The population was very small. but now we're about 45 million people. So the consequence is overcrowding in the primary schools. Most of the primary schools in DAC, first grade this year, the primary school, first year primary school, standard 1, there's double the amount of children going to those schools. But the resources are still the same. So you will see what the consequence is going to be for that. Okay, so now I'll show you a video from Rakesh Rajan, who is going to actually talk about the research that is going on in the education system in Tanzania. What? The video is in the presentation. Okay, just give it 1 minute and then it's going to load up. I'm sorry, I'm just confused. Technology. Most of you should know this person. He's very influential in terms of the research in the education system in Tanzania. He owns his own, he founded Twaweza, which is doing a lot of research in education. Wow. Okay, so I guess it's not coming out. So I'll just summarize. What is happening is this. There's a lot of money going in the education system in Tanzania. A lot of money. The government has to be applauded for that. Like, there's a lot of money going into the education system in Tanzania, but the results from that money is very, very minimal. So we need to do something about that. So what can we do differently? What can we do differently? So these are just my thoughts. You can have your own thoughts, and you can actually correct me if I'm not right. So from independence, Tanzania followed the equality model, equality funding model. So everybody received the same amount, okay? But the problem with that model is that Tanzania has changed. We are not all equal like we used to be. We are very, very different. So we need to change the way we fund the education system. We need to change the way we fund the education system. So those people that have needs, they need to be given more of the resources, especially village districts and stuff like that. We need to actually bring the best minds in education. We need to bring the best minds in education. So we need the best of the best to actually create the best. Training teachers, effective teaching methods. There's a lot of good methods that we can actually use to teach all children. We don't have to teach just the smart kids. We can teach all children by differentiating how we teach the information to them. As you might know, each individual has their own learning style, and we can cater to those learning styles. We need to pay teachers a livable wage, like he said this morning. If we don't pay them well, we're not going to get the best. And most people will actually find jobs somewhere else, and our education system will still be in trouble. Okay, so I'm not going to do all that, so I'll just stop over there. Thank you so much.
Hello, everybody. I'm Lucas, and I'm from North Carolina. I want to greet you all. We more or less behave like pythons. Once we have taken our lunch, we need to take a nap. So from up here, you can see a lot of us are kind of like, praying for me. So please don't pray for me. I am the founder and humbly saying the owner of Mount Eagle College and University. Let me start by saying this. Any society that values education, that society is going to progress. And if you allow me to stretch it a little bit, to say that any community, any group of people, or any family that values education, that family is prone to succeed. Thank you. I will try to be politically correct and not offend anybody, but I'm Tanzanian by origin. Born in Dar es Salaam, raised in Tanzania, in Tabora, went to school, born and bred in Tanzania, and I'm Shalua, I'm in Nyiramba. We Tanzanians have a big weakness, a very big weakness, that we value entertainment more than education. Now, that's a chronic problem. We cannot change it overnight. We need a lot of help from everybody, and I'm so glad. I've been hearing a lot about the efforts that are done to alleviate the problem. And probably, if you allow me to say, we can solve a lot of poverty and economic problem by educating our people. Now, to solve that problem, we are known, Tanzanians are known. I've been in several countries in Africa and around the world. We are known to be very creative in giving excuses. We can give wonderful, believable excuses on why things are wrong. I mean, we are genius on that. I mean, we have all these wonderful Swahili verses and, you know, because of unavoidable circumstances. We come with all these wonderful phrases why we should not, instead of why we should. What are the good reasons to make us do what we're supposed to do? Normally, we have excuses. Now, to solve that problem, we came up with the idea not only to help our brothers and sisters who are back in Tanzania, but also to help us here in diaspora, because how can you help a Tanzanian back in Tanzania while you are here struggling to pay your bills? We thought that it's very, very difficult to do that. And I think most of us share the story. We came to the United States with big dreams, and we are yet to realize those dreams. We're still struggling. Now, I want to say that we tried to come up with one little solution to put up an academic institution. Oh, sorry, it went too fast. To put up an academic institution. It's Mount Eagle College and University. We are based in North Carolina, Winston-Salem. And up till now, we have already graduated 6,000 students who got their certificates and their diplomas in Winston-Salem. They got their jobs, you know, locally, and at least they've put their feet right there at the doorstep to start building their lives in United States, because we all know the challenges. Now, as a university, we just have our one-year approval by North Carolina University System to be able to offer associate degrees and bachelor's degrees. And we are working with Tanzania, the TCU, to be able to put up a campus in Dar es Salaam to start with. Thank you. In order to help. It is all about helping and educating our people. Now, the certificate and diplomas, these are traditional classes we offer in Winston-Salem. But the degree programs, the associate and bachelor's, this can be done anywhere. They're online, they're hybrid. You can learn by your computer, by your smartphone. We're designing apps that you can get your bachelor's, you can get your master's from your cell phone. We believe everybody is having a smartphone, and we should use that smartphone to get educated. It's good to be on WhatsApp, it's good to be on social media. Why don't we use social media to, to develop ourselves? As I've said, we are immigrants friendly of all the things. Most of the universities here in the United States, they'll ask you a lot of intimidating questions. You all know what I mean. They'll ask you for the identities, which some of us don't have those identities. They will require some of the things or some of the certificates that are not easily translated into the American system. We designed our university to cater for the diasporans, to cater for the immigrants, that when you're here, thank you, when you're here, you do not really have to worry that I'm out of immigration status so I cannot go to school. So that excuse is not there. Every Tanzanian is having a birthright anywhere in the world to get educated, because we all know the reason why we should be educated. It is very affordable. We've tried so hard to have a lot of creativity to make our prices very competitive. We are subsidizing a lot. We are not having anybody to fund us so far. We are trying to be very creative on how we could employ teachers, how we could deploy the courses to everybody at a very subsidized price. So you do not have any excuse why you should not take classes. Now, let me switch gears very quickly. It has been said a lot, especially yesterday, about small businesses and about entrepreneurship. But one thing I felt that was missing is we speak of big things of how we need to do business, but let me tell you, so far we have invested more than $3 million to be where we are, and it has taken us 10 years to be a university, to go through all those red tapes. And it needed a lot of creativity. And we are not in partnership with anybody. It's just in partnership with my wife. So you can imagine. She has to work full-time, I had to work full-time, and we have to do a lot of things in order to put that together. Now that experience, we thought that it would be very important to make it available to anybody who has an idea and they want to put that idea into practice. So we are putting together an entrepreneurship workshop on the 4th of November. We also are engaged with other kinds of businesses, in healthcare businesses, in education businesses. We have a number of businesses. I have a booth out there. If you're interested, please visit us out there. I will be there personally talking to you. But anybody who has a plan, or you have an idea, and you want those baby steps, how do you take your idea all the way to the execution of that idea? What are the things you should expect? What are the things that most of the businesses fail? Why do you fail? And you should not fail, while we are here sitting on all that information and knowledge. It's available to you. Please don't be very creative giving an excuse why you should not come to North Carolina on the 4th of November. There are those who, we all know, this is our secret for the Tanzanians. I've seen most people when we come around, the easy integration in terms of education is to go into health sciences. We all know about that. My wife was trained as an accountant. Right now she has a doctorate in nursing. I mean, it is workable. It is workable. So what we have decided to do, we have archived the whole nursing program into DVDs. And those DVDs are outside there. I have them for the past 6 years. I designed them. We have cutting-edge professors teaching on those DVDs. They are used by more than 600 universities here in here in the United States. And 44 countries around the world are using those DVDs. Now, you don't need to drop out of a nursing school. We have resources for you. Thank you so very much. That's a challenge for you. Thank you so very much.
Hello. Odi. Sante. Before I introduce myself, I just want us to do this real quick. If you could all please stand up, because I can tell by your postures, the marinated chicken was good, the sauteed vegetables obviously worked, and then the cheesecake. You cheating health liars. Those on a diet, I saw you. All right, that's right, stretch it out. Stretch it out. If you can just jump in one spot, it's okay. Even if you're wearing a suit, just in one spot. Let the blood move. And you're never too old to exercise, and you're never too young to try. All right, take a deep breath. Out, in, out. Please don't breathe in front of the person next to you. Breathe out. In, out. All right, have a seat. Thank you. Balozi Masalindi. Balozi Masalindi. I'll get it someday. Balozi Mbega, Waheshimiwa, wazee wangu shikamoni. I know our people love that. You do everything wrong, but you do that right, you're good. Vijana wenzangu, mambo vipi? That's right. Real quick, first of all, I just want to say thank you. Not to you, but to the one who gives me life every day. I woke up this morning, I heard the alarm clock, I whipped up the bed sheets, I put my feet to the ground, and I started breathing, and I said, oh, I'm alive. Because there's only two ways this normally works out, either this side of the earth or the other. And judging by where I'm standing, we all made it on this side. So to that, I'm grateful. I'm grateful to DICOTA for putting this event together. And let me say something while I'm still saying thank you to DICOTA. So I came here, oh yeah, I didn't say my name, right? Okay, that's all right. My name is Juma Swedi, and I looked at the program. And some of you may know, some of you probably don't know, but my sister was here a few minutes ago, and that's Miss CSI right there. So I looked at the program before the day even started, and I said, she's older than me, and I said, I have the opportunity to do something before my sister. Because, you know, if you're not the firstborn, if you come after the ones, you're always doing things after. Food is left over, school, you have the bad grades. They're just better than you at everything. They're first, they're everything. And so I said, this is my opportunity to go before her. But you know, the stars aligned a little different this morning. the schedule shifted very fast. I swear to you, if you look, I was supposed to speak at 9:30, and I said, I'm before my sister, and now I don't know what time it is, but she spoke before me, so I guess that's all that matters. Okay, real quick. Let's get back to this. We'll get back to that later. Oh, before I even begin, I heard we're streaming this thing, so real quick, hey babe, love you. Thanks for taking care of our baby while I'm out here getting on it, so I'll see you when I get back. Hey, let me tell you. Wait, real quick, how many people are single here? How many people are single? It's a true question. If you're single, please put your hand up. I'm doing you a favor because no one did this for me. So, we have no singles? Everyone's married? Yeah. Okay, I have 5 minutes remaining. Let's just fast forward. That's my phone number. Please take it down. What I just did was kupaka siagi. So when I go home, she's happy, we're happy, and so on and so forth. Anyway, all right. So in 2004, the U.S. Senate passed a resolution that designated April as Financial Literacy Month. Some of you know that, some of you don't know that. Why is that important? Well, I'll take it a step further. The Standards & Poor Rating Services did a global survey on financial literacy, and they focused on about 4 points. Number one, they focused on risk and diversification. If you invested in one business versus two, what was your outcome going to look like? Were you taking a riskier bet or not? That type of situation. Number two was inflation. If you spent 10,000 shillings today, bought an item, 15 years later, the same item cost 15,000 shillings, it means the inflation rate went up by 15%. The question then becomes, if your income went up by 15%, how much would you pay for the same item 15 years later? Would it be more? Would it be less? Would it be the same? That was the other item that they asked them on. The next one was interest. If you went to the bank and borrowed $100 or $200 and they charge you 3% interest, how much would you pay back? Would it be 105? 100 plus the 3%? Those were the questions they were kind of putting out there. And last but not least, compounding interest. If you borrowed money from a bank, 100,000 shillings, and planned to pay it back after 5 years or 10 years, and they were charging you 15%, what would that look like for you? Would it be more? Would it be less? Would it be the same? So those are the questions that they were asking. And the results are in. I sent the document to Lundas. If you want to look at it, ask him to send it to you. He will, gladly, right? Yes, thanks. But as it stands, it says 1 in 3 adults in the world have the basic understanding of financial information or financial literacy, pretty much. Where does Tanzania rank as compared to our neighbors in the region? It's all on that document. I will let you go and have a feast at it. It's 28 pages, so it shouldn't be really a headache for you. Okay, next up, I just wanted to touch on this real quick. The theme, leveraging the Tanzanian diaspora capacity. Let me ask you a question. What is the capacity of this room? It's about 300 people, right? And just so you know, it's partitioned, but they opened it up. So if you partition this and pull up the second partition, this is about 63 or maybe 65 and another 60 something. But the capacity is 330 or thereabouts. It should be in the back. When we're asking about our capacity, how do we know what our capacity is? We don't really know because we haven't invested deeply in understanding what we can truly do collectively. Make sense? And so, and I kind of want to get onto this real quick. Linking and growth. I think linking growth is another thing that we said. A chain is only as strong as its weakest link. If all the links are made of titanium and the one in the middle is made of plastic, guess what? The strength of that chain is only as strong as the plastic link inside. That makes sense? If a fleet of cars is driving, or a fleet of ships is out at sea, that fleet is only as fast as its slowest ship. What am I trying to get at? I heard the leaders come up here, the the community of Washington State. I heard Chicago. I heard Kansas, Wichita. All these are good, but individually, how much can they impact the whole? Does that make sense? But we can always take it a step further and say, all right, in every community they're individuals. Individuals are families. Families make up the community makes up the nation. You're probably wondering, where's all this going? I got you. I'm talking about money here, okay? A lot happens and requires people to pay money and do this and do that. But let me ask you a question. If you were strapped between the decision of whether you're going to spend $100 to take care of you or your family, or send it somewhere else to take care of another family, what would you do? You see, it becomes tough. Now, the people who came here and made their cases, they're awesome and I support them. But it's hard for you to be effective. The leveraging and the capacity, it's hard. It's kind of like driving a car and you're not really going because your engine is not up to capacity. So, let me tell you a little bit about what I do. I'm in the marketing and distribution of financial services and products. So some of you may have heard of companies like Allianz, Prudential, ING Voya, John Hancock, Nationwide, Transamerica, Pacific Life. When I sit with my clients, I'm able to bring some of those services and products to their doorstep. Why is that important? It's a big deal because when I sit with them, my focus is them. My leverage is, I'm not pushing any products down your throat. What do you need? The key for me is that the families begin with the end in mind. Where are you trying to go? How fast are you trying to get there? What are your short-term financial goals, mid-term financial goals, and long-term financial goals? How does that affect the diaspora? In a great way. Well, if you decide you want to be gone in 5 years, what are you doing now to get yourself ready to go in 5 years? Some of you planned to come here. You didn't come here by accident. You booked a trip, you booked a hotel, you told your spouses you wouldn't come home, you paid the rent in advance while you'd be here, yes or no, right? At some point you're going to get to 60, 70, you're going to back off, you won't want to work that much, your body won't let you, but when that time happens, what do you expect your income to be? What plans do you have now? What plans do you have now to get you to that point? So obviously now, can I just 2 seconds real quick? Thank you, he's kind. All right, cool. Let's get to the PowerPoint. So, let's go to the first one. Oh shoot, I left the clicker. I'm sorry. There we go. Okay, first one. There we go. This is what Warren Buffett says. Who knows Warren Buffett? He's maybe what, the second wealthiest person in the country? Yeah. He said, don't save what's left after spending, but spend what is left after saving. Most people who are kind of getting by, they get paid today. They spend money entertaining, pleasing people, trying to impress them, people who don't care about them, people they don't even like. They just want the, did you see that one? Mayona, yeah. But then it means nothing. Then somewhere in between the fun, I guess there's truth in that. So somewhere in the middle of the fun, they remember they have to pay their bills. And then whatever is left, they have to save, but they're completely discouraged because they don't have enough. Then you do what you do, like in college, cup of noodles, baby, you know? You can't even cook them because then it's over. But let me tell you what the wealthy do. They get that little bit of money, and guess what? They save. They pay themselves first. And then what is next is paying their bills. And what is left is they'll entertain. Why is that a big deal? Because check this out. Today I give you a $100,000 increase in your annual salary. Guess what? Your habits dictate that you have fun, pay bills, and save. Guess what? Your fun just got bigger now by 100,000 or 70,000. You have a bigger car, bigger house, bigger.